Okay, last speaker of the day. We have Bibiana Ballbè. I hope that my pronunciation is good. She's a journalist from Barcelona, but now she's a citizen of the world, I think. And she's the founder and now the director of the CreativeNet and the Creative Agency. And this is mainly the main topic of her talk. So, Bibiana, please join me on the stage. Okay.
Great.
Just call
Thanks
me
a
when
lot.
you need.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm going to share with you today the story of the CreativeNet, which is a network, as the word says, that connects and identifies different creative minds. So before of that, I'm just going to introduce myself in like a couple of slides so that you get to know me a little bit. That's me. I'm Bibiana Ballbè. That's my Instagram account. That's when I was 4 years old. I'm a mother. How many of you guys in here have kids? One person, two, three. I imagine that. Okay, all right. So we're an exception here. That's my boy. That he's like very little yet. So I'm getting used to being a mother. I'm a judo red belt. Any judo's red belts here? No, okay. Another exception. I'm always the one who brings pastries to the parties. So I love sweet. And I'm a Nikkei fan. This could be me. And most of all, I'm a journalist. And here is where the story begins. Well, the story begins actually when I was a kid and reading lots of Tintin. I don't know if everything happened there, but what I know is that when I finished my career, I studied journalism and audiovisual communication, I knew I wanted two things. One was to share stories, explain stories, being a journalist, and the other one was to talk about culture and creativity. So I wasn't good enough in any of the cultural sectors or disciplines that I knew and that I liked, like design, illustration, painting, architecture, fashion, but I was very interested in all of them. So I was 20 years old, I packed my things, went to Germany, and there I started my career in the I don't know if you guys know it, in the TV channel Viva. So that's like the MTV, right? And what I did was a weekly TV show that featured every single week from a different city around the world. So I went from Barcelona to San Francisco to Miami to Tokyo to Sydney. I traveled the world during 5 years, every week in a different city, getting to know the new generation of creatives. And that meant designers, architects, people in fashion, people in books, people in movies. But always like the new and the youngest generations. That was where my interest was at. And it got to a point I did 20 years, for 20 years I've been doing that. First in Germany, then I went to the US, then I went back home, but I've been living, it's not working anymore? It's all right, yes? Okay. But I've been living like in Boston, in New York, in San Francisco, in Barcelona, in Cologne, in Berlin, and I've been focusing on doing TV. I've done a lot of TV shows, press, lots of press and radio, but always talking about these new generations of creatives. And then it got to a point when everything got so digitally that I thought, okay, we need to somehow transform all this knowledge into a network so that everyone has access to it. And there's where we created the CreativeNet. That was the result of doing so many interviews. So, before going on to the CreativeNet, I want to tell you that we discovered that some of the most important things in creativity are collaboration. So the future is way too much complicated and complex to just decode it by yourself. You need to collaborate, you need to co-experimentate, you need to co-create. So everything is about collaboration. And another thing, that's what we do in Barcelona. I don't know if you know that. Those are human towers, and it's all about collaboration, about helping each other. I always say, it's one idea, it's not in your head or in my head, it's always in the middle. It comes out from the collaboration of each other. And then the other very important thing is change. Change is changing faster and faster, wilder and wilder. And it's not anymore about adapting to change, as Darwin said, it is about leading the change. So if you want to be well known, if you want to do something remarkable, you gotta lead this change. And in order to lead the change, one of the fastest ways is being creative. Because being creative, you're capable of differentiating yourself, of positioning yourself, of giving the world another vision, a different vision. So, with all this knowledge, as I was saying, we created the CreativeNet, which is a network that connects already 50 million people. We've got 2,000 individuals in all this network, and then we connect 50 million people. I'm going to show you, this is how it looks like, but I'm going to navigate it so to tell you exactly how we did it and what you can find in this platform. Should I do this in this computer? So I'll bring you guys. Exactly. Everything's ready. That's awesome. Great. So that's the network. So that you guys get an idea, that's like a LinkedIn of creative minds. So everyone who's in this platform has something to do with the creativity and are part of this new generation that I was telling you about. So everyone has from 20 to 40 years, more or less. And they're people who are doing remarkable work in the world of creativity. So you can do a zoom in, right? And here you start discovering the network and some names. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search somebody that has been today here so that you feel more enthusiastic about it. Let me see if I find it. Well, I'm gonna find them here. So you can click here. Tillman was today here. So that's the way that you see how his profile is done, right? So you've got the design studio, you've got everyone who's part of it. You see there Tillman, Mark, and Pablo. You can download the whole information. You can share here the whole information into the network. You can contact them via mail. So if you click here, you're right there, and you can send them a mail. And then you see that they do branding, art direction, editorial art, graphic art, packaging. You've got the bio here. You can see, you can have a look at an interview I did with them. So here, if I would go and play, you can see where they work, how they talk, what they most amazing projects have been, etc. And then it starts here where you can see everyone who they recommend in the network. So it's not a network that everyone can upload their profile. It's a network that what we do is we selected 200 creatives, very good creatives in different areas, and we asked them to invite 10 people who they thought were like incredible, their talent was like incredibly good. So how it goes, they said, for example, Enrique Hernandez, and here you see the why. This explanation is telling you why Enrique has to be part of the platform. Or for example, Mau Murgo or Bendita Gloria or so and so. And then you could go on with that. For example, Bendita Gloria, you could click here and you could go on and visit his profile. And then start and start again. So it's like a non-stop of different names regarding creativity. And then you can navigate the web like this, or you can like, for example, go here and search for man or woman, or the day of they were born, or by tag. You could go here and see. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. Graphic, dirección de arte, art direction, for example. You could click here and then get here like everyone. Oh, okay, I did something wrong. Sorry. Here. And then get everyone that has to do with graphic design, right? Here we see, or photography. You would go like this. You would, and then you would find everyone in the network that does, in this case, direction of photography. So this is more or less about the CreativeNet. Attached to it, what we've done is we've got the Creative Mac too, which is a media that talks about all the creatives. So if you can click here, you see, I don't know why it's not working, but you should go to the magazine, right? And attached to the magazine, so we've got the CreativeNet. We do something that's called the Creative Fest, which is like you guys, like the graphic days here, but in Barcelona, and we also have like lots of conference and so. And we've got the creative agency, and what we do in the creative agency is we connect all this talent, everyone that we've got in this platform that is blocked somehow, but it's okay because I was done on doing that. Can I get some help here? And go back to the presentation. Great. Exactly. Oh, yeah. That's the Newsmac that I was trying to show you. And then we've got the creative agency. What we do is we connect the best creative talent with the best brands or brands that look for creative talent. And in this way, every project we do is totally different because we engage all the time new creative minds, and we always engage a big group of creatives so that they can collaborate, and we engage them in the first moment. So when they come with us or we go with them with an idea and say, okay, for that project we could get this person and this person and this person and this person involved, and with them we start to think, we start to design the idea, with them we execute the idea, and with them we communicate the idea too. So and here's the most important thing, because we do not only create this, we communicate the project with them too, which makes the whole communication much more organic and much more interesting. So you can follow us here everywhere. And then just for ending, I want to share you some of the most important things we've learned from all this creative community. We interviewed 2,000 of them, and there's 6 ideas I would like to share with you so that you get an idea of how to be creative. No, the question was, where do you get your inspiration from? How can you be more creative? And that's some of the ideas that we got. Rethink everything. So the brain is programmed somehow not to think, to function automatically. If we had to think when we wake up everything we need to do the whole day, our brain, I'm saying, would be burned out by 10 o'clock in the morning. So our brain is really used to function as like in an autonomous way. But what we really need to do is this is bothering a lot. Me too. It's better this way. If not, better? Yes? Better? Okay, we hope it doesn't start with the noises again. So, rethinking everything is the first step to be creative. We do not have to assume that everything is like it is, because it's just the way it is. The way to lead the change, as I was telling before, the way to go ahead, to go one step ahead, is to rethink things. Like Steve Jobs did. Steve Jobs somehow changed the whole world of music, of photography, and of mobile phones in just one item, in just the mobile phone. So it's about leading this change. It's about rethinking things, thinking how things can be better. Not because a computer is like this means that this is the best way of a computer for being. There's probably a new way to do that. So that's the key thing of it. Be the 0.1%. The most difficult part is being different. So it is okay to be different, and it's not only okay. It means doing things different. It is when you do things differently that you stand out. And today it is really a creative, the basis of a creative process. Trust yourself to be different. Be chaotic. That also it's an answer that we got a lot. It's like, you have to have your order, but when you've got this order established, you need to break it. You need to break the rules to make the change somehow. And at this point of the conferences, I ask everyone to stand up. All right? And now change places. Okay. Great. This is a great exercise that I do, and it often usually like goes like that. When I say that, everyone like, no, everyone's sitting comfortable with their friends around, and so everyone was like, oh God, no,
now I have to change places. So everyone's like, no way. And then you learn a lot from yourself too, because you see, I saw, for example, the guy of Slim Dogs running to the other side. So he's ready to take the risk. He's ready to go somewhere else. He's ready to provoke some chaos. And it is from chaos, from the interconnection of different ideas and different movements, that new ideas come up. Then there's other people, as I saw, like here in front of that, they go, should we go like this? And we just switch places, and it's like the comfortable place, the comfort zone, right? So that's the easy way. What happens in this exercise? Now we've seen the whole conference or the whole talk in this first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sitting from one place. When we change places, we right straight away, you've got new people in there, you've got a new vision, you've got a new sensation of the whole thing. And this is only an experiment to see how you guys go along in the wall and how you undertake creative work. You gotta be ready to break with the established, to go out of the comfort zone, to see things from a different place. Being creative is about having a different vision. This is it about. You have to have a different vision. Things are the things they are. We've got a computer here, we've got a person here talking, we've got a screen here. That's the way it is. But what makes you different, what makes you stand out and your work stand out is the vision you've got of it. It's how you tell it. It's how you explain it. In journalism, you see a lot. We've got the news that we've got. Everyone talks about the same news. But why do you go and look for a certain author that has written what his thoughts are? Because you're looking for his vision, because you connect with the vision. That is, creativity is about connection. Creativity is about having a different vision. So that is why it's so different to somehow, once you've got your thing, provoke and change things in your day-to-day life, because it's the only way to go somewhere new. I always give 2 tips, which is, and I do them every day of my life. 1, talk to somebody new every day. If you do that, at the end of the year, you've got 365 new inputs in your head. And it is about the connection of those ideas that sometimes, or at that time when you need this new idea, you'll get it. So every person hides a story in his bag, in his head. 3 questions. You go get a coffee. Hi, how are you? Good. Where you come? Oh, okay, bam. And that is an input that you've got in your head. Bam. And go to a different place. Travel a lot, of course, but of course in your own city. Go to new cafes, to new places, to new movie theaters, to new streets. This is all input. Our creativity is also about brain food. You need brain food to connect ideas inside your brain. So go to new places, talk to somebody new every day. And break the rules, make the change. This is also basic. Big ideas, like for example, Airbnb or Uber or whatever, they succeeded because they broke with everything. Their new ideas, their fresh air, they're so fast. We were talking before about leading the change, not adapting to change. You don't want to go always behind. You want to lead this change. This is what they did. They broke with everything. They imagined a new world. They reimagined somehow a new way of living, of traveling. Airbnb. I mean, you can now go to your. I can go to your. I could sleep at your place. And years ago, this would have been going and doing an overnight at a house of a person that you don't know. You would have never done that, and now we're doing this the whole time. So they reinvented the whole traveling experience, and Uber did that the same thing, or Cabify with the transportation, with the mobility. So it has a lot to do of rethinking things, but of breaking with the established and going somewhere new. Be passionate. Passionate creativity is about passion. It's about unconditional love. It's about hectic. It's intense. Passion dominates our will and disturbs our reason, but it makes us much more sincere, much more authentic. And when you're being sincere, you're connecting. And as I was saying before, creativity is about connection. So be passionate, be real about what you do. Love truly, love a lot. It's like about, like remaining an amateur. When you're an amateur, you love what you do. You're ready to kill for what you do. You believe so much in what you do that the important thing is to remain this, to keep this feeling, this energy all along through your life. What happens? It is so easy when you start because you've got all this energy. Everything is right there. So it's so easy. You want to conquer the world. But then you get established, things are better, you've got clients, and little by little, you get somehow again in your comfort zone, and everything is okay, and your passion lowers its levels, and you're not that enthusiastic anymore, and then the creativity levels go down. So you gotta try to be an amateur, and a good way to do that is always starting new things. Like if you're a graphic designer, trying out new things, so that always something of the imperfection and of the beginnings remains there, and of course the passion. I always tell the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. She was years and years, she had this book which became this big success, and for years and years she went and knocked to all the publishers' houses everywhere around the world, and nobody published her. Nobody, ever, never, until years and years. So she was so passionate about her work, so passionate that she kept, if you know it, you just gotta perseverancia, we say in Spanish, to you understood it, right? Yes. You gotta keep it up and keep it up and keep it up. Because if you believe in that, at one point, somebody's gonna believe in you, and this door is gonna be the door that you need to be opened. So she did that, and finally, she gave it to an editor, and this editor didn't really make a lot of, didn't really read it at all, but gave it to her daughter. And her daughter, who was 12 years old, read the first chapter and said, like, in an hour or two, she said, I want a next chapter. And he said, okay, something's here. And the rest, you know, is story. And then there's this other key, which is no secret. And it's about working. Picasso used to work from 12 to 15 hours a day. He produced 50,000 obras de arte along his life, which means 2 a day. He was the one who said, inspiration is gonna find you working, and no doubt that inspiration found him because he was always working. But with that, I want to say that there's no real escape. I mean, if you want to be successful, if you want to be creative, you gotta work, and then probably after those 12 years, those 12 hours working, you're gonna be showering, and this idea, it's gonna knock, because you need this moment of disconnection. But you've got to do your homework before. So, if I'm not wrong, I wanted to share you to our manifesto, which is shared by all of us, all our creatives, which is, we believe in creativity, we embrace change, as we were saying, we are results driven, so we want to see where the creativity goes. We're all about connection, life is about connection. We care for empathy. We act a lot upon serendipity, which was this exercise of chaos that I was making you do, guys. It's about conectar improbables. Improbables, yeah? Something that would never get in touch, so making this happen, because from this collision, new ideas get out. And then go from storytelling to story doing. It's okay it's very important to have a story to tell, but most of all, it's important to do it, to show it, to present it. And all together, we are the CreativeNet. Thanks a lot.